Hey guys, what's up? Bisectatron here from OneHive Gazette, here with my next video, and in this one I'm talking about the radius of an earthquake spell versus that of a jump spell, and kind of which one extends longer, do they have the same length, and when to use each one, because this can be confused a lot of the time, and I want to clear this up for people. So talking about the spells themselves, they do have the same radius, they are the same size. And obviously this video is longer than 30 seconds because there's a little bit more to the story than that. So I'm going to go ahead and talk about that now. Although they have the same size, the earthquake spell it acts like it's bigger. It's used for longer distances. So they both have a diameter of 8 tiles, meaning they have a radius of 4 tiles. That basically looks like this. From one wall here to the other wall here, that's their extent. So if you're using earthquake spells, you can go over this distance where there's 6 blank tiles in between, which is equal to 2 cannons. You can earthquake from one red bomb to another. You can get from that spot to that spot, dropping an earthquake spell right in between each of these cannons. So to drop it, you want to put it right in between each of these walls. It'll open up a 8 tile distance between 2 sets of walls. A jump spell, however, cannot do this under almost every circumstance. The jump spell does extend the same length, so if you drop it perfectly, it will extend from one wall to another. And typically, troops will recognize it at least on the front end. So if you drop it perfectly and it touches this wall, if it encompasses the wall, I guess I should say, the wall is within the jump spell, then your troops will take the jump almost all the time, unless there's some kind of weird something that's going on, like in my live attack that you guys saw. Typically the troops will always take that jump, but in this circumstance right here, the troops are going to leave the jump spell to go off to the side. So let's say you want to bring Valks from this bomb to this bomb, and you drop a jump perfectly in the middle between these two buildings. It extends from this wall to this wall. The Valks will enter this compartment. They'll have to go to the side here, go to the side there. They will leave the jump spell. And when troops are not in the jump spell, they don't understand that it extends far enough for them to take it. So a troop within the jump spell, after everything in the compartment's gone, has a good chance of taking the jump spell, which is why a jump from here to here will work okay for this compartment. If you drop it perfectly, the troops can take that jump because they won't leave the jump spell at all. It's so narrow, they'll be in the jump spell the whole time, so they'll just go straight through. But a troop that's not in the jump spell is less likely to take the jump, I guess is what I'm saying, than a troop that is in the jump spell. So you've seen my king before, or the kings in the golem avalanche attack that take the jump, even though it's not really extending far enough for them to take it, is because they're already in the jump spell. So whenever you have a 6 tile, or an 8 tile, I should say, 6 tiles between the walls, 8 tiles total, whenever you have this distance to try to go from one side of it to the other like this, as long as the compartment does not look like this, you're going to need quake spells. A jump spell would not work here. The odds are very stacked against you. You're probably not going to be able to get from one side to the other with a jump spell when the compartment's this wide, or even a little bit narrower. As long as the compartment's not like this, you're probably going to need the quake spells. The jump spell will work for this compartment if you drop it perfectly, but still you might want to drop the quake spells just because the jump would have to be so perfect to get this to get from here to there. So that's one thing to keep in mind. They are the same radius, but the troops don't take the jump like they take the quake. When you're dropping the quakes, if they touch the wall's gone. That's it. And the troops can obviously go a place where there's not a wall. They can just run right past it. But if the jump touches the wall, as you've seen, if the troops are in it, they might not recognize it, and they're less likely to take it. So keep that in mind when you're deciding to bring a jump or a quake. A distance like this, you can use a jump if you drop it good. It can be done in a compartment that's wider. If the compartment's like, let's say, like that and like that, and there's buildings on each side, that can work. Just make sure you drop it perfectly. You have a much better chance of the troops taking the jump. A quake is still safer, but the chances are a lot higher that the jump will work. So this is a reasonable jump to make. And obviously you want to drop it right where that wall is, right in between both rows of walls. So it's going to be on that third tile in or the fourth tile, if depends on where you start counting from, but right in between both those sets of walls. That'll get the job done. So obviously, for the 6-tile jump, you're almost always going to need the quakes. But one question that people ask is, well, is there a time where you don't necessarily need the quakes to make the travel from one area to another, but you want to bring the quakes anyway because they're permanent and the jump runs out? And yeah, a lot of the time that's the case. Let's go ahead and take a look at an attack where that was the case from our most recent war against TH9 Specialist, going down to number 20, taking a look at Rich's attack, and he's using quake spells. One thing to keep in mind is quake spells work, they take up more troops or more spell space in almost every scenario, but if you don't need your poisons, then you're not wasting any spell space, because the 2 poisons that you don't bring makes up for the extra 2 space that the quake takes up. So unless you need those poisons, a quake spell or 4 quakes take up the same amount as 1 jump if you don't need those poisons. A lot of the time you do need the poisons, so if you want to have the quakes and the poisons, you're going to lose 1 or 2 spell space, which is equivalent to 1 normal elixir spell. So just keep that in mind, because right here he actually decides he doesn't need the poison spells, so he can still bring 3 normal elixir spells just like he could with a jump. But also, it makes a lot of sense here to bring the quakes, because look how many compartments are being accessed. If he drops a jump, the troops will maybe get to 1 or 2 compartments, then it will run out. And he needs this open to get to the queen. He needs to make sure that the troops are able to go to where that town hall is and where the dark elixir storage is and that cannon. The troops need to be able to access that the entire time, because his king has to get in there eventually and take out the queen. Now, a few Valks do get kind of weird on him, which happens, when you have this big space for them to work with. But right here, the jump would have ran out by now, but because the quakes were down, that little wall is gone on the corner, the king's able to walk in there, get the queen, that saves the attack. So if you look at the area you're trying to drop the jump or the quakes on, and you're deciding which spell to bring, if the troops are going to need that time, if they're going to be moving in and out of the compartments opened up by the spell for more than 40 seconds at Town Hall 9, you're going to need the quake spells, because the jump runs out after 40 seconds, at which point your troops will be landlocked. So keep that in mind. That's pretty important when deciding whether or not you want to invest the extra space for the quakes. And also, like I said, if you don't need the poisons, the quakes don't take up any more space. So that's another thing to keep in mind. Hope you enjoyed the video though. Hope it makes sense. Go ahead and comment any questions below. I think I got everything pretty accurate, but if you disagree with something, you can go ahead and throw that below, and we'll see if we can work it out, because trying to bring the most accurate information I can, and I think this will help you guys in your attacks, deciding which spell to bring. So yeah, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye, Sectatron out.